Hello, this is Katie from Crafting Ruby Dreams, and welcome to my channel where I talk about planners, goal setting, writing, publishing, and getting right with my finances. This is day 6 of my version of Vlogmas. So we've got 6 days down. I'm so happy that I have been able to sneak an extra one in essentially with the change in schedule from yesterday. And I'm kind of like in a brain space that is interesting. I'm extremely happy to be here. I'm excited to work on some things this evening, and I'm really, really glad to be done with work. The day job was let's just say that my cranky button got pressed repeatedly and at a very fast rate at a certain point today. So I am choosing to say no to carrying that into the evening, and I am moving forward. And sometimes that's what you have to do is just recognize what made you cranky, what it is, what can you do to clear that crankiness. What I did is between the time I logged off of work and starting this is I just read a book on my phone. I laid down on my bed. So I was laid out and just read for like about 15 minutes. So just transition point and period. And just recognize when you might need to do something like that. A suggestion from one of my coaches, I think I've mentioned on here before, is when you need a transition point like that, and especially if it's a lot of emotions that have gotten you worked up, maybe doing something as simple as washing your face. And if you don't have time to do a full-on wash of your face, maybe just wet a washcloth and just do it like that. Just do a very simple cleansing of the face, cleansing of something to help you move through and past, at least for the time being, those emotions so you can tackle whatever it is you have left in your day with a calmer peace of mind, place of mind, something like that. So what I'm working on today is the companion annual goals booklet for the companion notebook system from MäksēLife. Just as a heads up for anyone interested, this year, just a couple weeks ago, they introduced a bound coil. So over here. So this is a notebook from Erin Condren, but it's a coil like this. So that's the binding. And so it's a coiled system of essentially the companion notebooks in a 7x9 format. And it is so the goal workbook and everything. And then monthly calendar, undated, and all the weekly pages. So if you're at all interested in that, that is now an offering from them. So if you don't like the A5, which I'm perfectly fine with, that could be an option for you. So I'm not going to read through all of the very beginning prep work. And it's just kind of explaining the system. It can be useful to go through and just kind of highlight some things that are catching your attention at that point in time. I don't feel like doing that this year. This is my 3rd year using the system. I will probably, well, I say probably, who knows where I'll be at in a year, but I may go through it and read through everything next year. It just might be what I need at this point next year. But what I'm going to just jump in and do is the life compass, the compass assessment. And what I did when I was doing the year-end reflections, I just kind of guesstimated where I felt like I was at, taking into account the entire year. But what I'm going to do now is work through the entire compass assessment. And as a heads up, if you don't already know this, if you sign up for MäksēLife's newsletter, you'll get access to their printables library, which includes all of this. So I don't think it includes quite all of the beginning prep work for setting your annual goals, but it includes a lot of it. So it includes the compass assessment, and it also includes one of my very, very favorite pages in this. Let me find that. This things to consider page. I love this particular page when if I'm struggling with goals, what to come up with goals. Um, that is something that I would do. And actually, right after the compass assessment page, I'll pull up Lena's question first. They do have a this intentions page, helps you come up with a word of the year if you're at all interested. And I don't know if that is a part of the free printables library, but let me read this out. Reflecting on your answers to the questions above, brainstorm a list of words that resonate with you and encompass what you see as an ideal year ahead. Narrow your choice to a single word that embodies all of your intentions. Make sure your word inspires you and is something that you can commit to fully. Your chosen word will serve as a guidepost for your priorities and the decisions you will make in the coming year. Let me grab something. So I'm going to go off camera for a moment to show you something I did for my 2022 word of the year. And moving. And hopefully I don't knock over everything that's sitting in front of it. Oh, interesting. So this must have been my word of the year for 2021 too. No, actually it wasn't. So this is something that I did that I think was at the start of I'm kind of amazed right now looking at the date because I dated it. You can see my name and 4/24/21 when I did this. I'm really I thought I did this later. I honestly thought I did this later because of the imagery and because of the word. So my word of the year for 2022 was create. And that was with the intention of being creative again and really indulging in my sense of creativity and things that I do for fun that are creative and trying to think outside of the box and all of that. A piece of imagery, as you will see behind me, is sunflowers. And that came to me through an exercise that we did in Club Moxie 1.0 that was just very resonant for me. And we didn't start Club Moxie until I want to say May of 2021. So very soon after I created this. And I did this while I was with my sisters-in-law, two of my sisters-in-law. We had just like a kind of fun create night. And this is what I did. And I'm honestly very, very surprised by that date that I created this because, like I said, this was my word of the year. And this is imagery that has been with me for a while now, to the point that I incorporated the sunflower into the series of books that I'm working on writing. And so I would say that everything that I read with regards to the guidance from MäksēLife, I think that's a good way to start. I know people who collect words throughout the year. They'll just anything that like kind of like pings for them. They will write it down and have like a little possible words of the year. I know some people who will go to thesaurus. Thesaurus.com is one of my favorite online resources for many, many different reasons. That is, so if you like have something that you know is kind of along the lines of what you think you might want, but it's not quite right, thesaurus.com or any thesaurus is a great place to go and look at potential associated words. I personally like thesaurus.com just because it will color code according to how strongly associated a particular word is to the word that you've done the search on. So here, let me just do a quick search. Let's do um, good work. Let's just do create. And so it has a lot of potential synonyms, and they are color coded from dark orange to medium orange to light orange / yellow as to how closely associated. So some of the dark orange words, synonyms for create, are build, conceive, construct, generate, produce, shape, and start. Some medium orange words are actualize, concoct, fabricate, invest, which is kind of interesting, perform, and then some lighter orange / yellow words are actually more phrases, bring into being, cause to be, give birth to. So you can also see synonyms for created, creates plural, or active, whatever that verb is, creating. So those are some options as well. Let me find my way back to StreamYard. There we are. So I think there are a number of exercises available online if you don't have MäksēLife, or you can't, if this is not available as a free printable, because words of the year is a very popular topic. So I know that there are a number of other YouTube videos out there, because there is an industry of creating things for you with your word of the year so that you can keep it in front of you always. So one of the reasons why I kind of rushed off last night when I was finishing up the live stream was because I wanted to watch Cindy Gunsert-Baldo. She has a private patron live stream, and I'm a patron, so I wanted to watch it. And what she was doing on last night's live stream was creating a frame image for people to put their words of the year in, so that they can have something pretty to look at and have it in front of them. So that's one of the reasons why I have this like up on a place where I can see it. I don't have a particular idea as of right now, because create was just I just knew that that was the word that I wanted to use for 2022. I don't have a particularly strong feeling, let's say, for 2023. I don't know that I feel the strong need to have that kind of guiding beacon light, let's say, of having something like that. I might just stick with create, just because it's been such a powerful word for me this year, and it's a beginning journey that I'm still on with a lot of the things that I want to be doing. So that's something. So don't feel like you have to have a word of the year, even if it's part of the system that you're using. Don't feel like you have to use that. So let's jump into the assessment scoring. And yes, I will share everything all my scores. So we'll just go in order and start with the personal area of life. My basic needs are taken care of. I'd say that's probably an 8. I generally feel happy and fulfilled, also 8. I have a positive attitude and outlook on life. I would say that's generally a 9. I give myself grace for my limits and imperfections. That's probably a 7. I do better than most, but yeah. So again, rate this against yourself. If you have trouble, this came up in Monday night's live stream from MäksēLife. Somebody had a very, very good question about what if you find yourself extremely hard on yourself, and it's a thing for you to go through a rating system like this. And I would recommend going and watching that. That's in the Q&A section, so it's towards the end, like the last maybe I don't know exactly when in the Q&A section, but the Q&A section started probably an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half into the live stream. And there was some very good suggestions in the chat. At least I was on the YouTube channel, so definitely in the YouTube chat. And something that I have heard from other people, what they do is that they will do this once a day for a week and then take their scores throughout the week and average them together to get a decent, probably on the mark assessment, because it catches them at a different state of mind every day, hopefully. So if you find yourself having trouble, maybe just, okay, I'm going to do this for a week and just do it once a week. Sorry, every day for a week, not once a week, and then average those scores. So I regularly take time for life planning, reflection, and self-care. I'm going to give that a 6 because I have not been doing that well lately. I am comfortable spending time alone. 9, because I am very comfortable spending time alone the older I get. There are hobbies and interests I engage in regularly. I'll say 7 for that one. There are personal goals or projects that I want to achieve, complete. I will also say 7 on that one. So, and I'll do all the scores at the end. Oh, Katie, here, my word of the year for 2021 was brave, and for 2022, it was 2022. They were similar but different as my way to name the progress I've made that carries over from year to year. That's a good point. Because every year, hopefully, you're seeing incremental progress on whatever it is that you want to see progress on. And you don't have to have progress in every area of life or everything. It just, you might see a lot more progress in certain areas. Like this last year, I saw huge personal progress with regards to my writing career, and not so much in other areas of life, that in some of which I was kind of hoping for better progress. But it's okay, because recognize yourself and what's, oh, bold. Brave and bold, yes. And yeah, but that's the thing. Katie, that's a really, really great point, that um, if you like, when you see the distinctions, and again, this is where the thesaurus might come in really in handy for you. If you want to do something like what Katie does, you can do you pick one word and then you like, no, I'm still kind of feeling that energy, but maybe something different. So what else is similar to it? And so thank you for sharing that, Katie. That's really great. All right, fun and recreation. I take regularly planned vacations and or time off. Oh, this is a question. I'm feeling very torn by this question because yes, I pretty much use almost all of my leave time. But I don't necessarily take vacation in the way most people mean vacation. I tend to use my leave time either going to visit my family, do things with my family, which is not bad at all because I am close with my family, but it's not necessarily vacation. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm like usually going to conferences or stuff like that, or like last year preparing to move. So I'm gonna give myself a 5 on this one because I'm just that torn. I create moments for rest and rejuvenation. I'm also gonna give myself a 5 on that one. I give myself permission to have fun without feeling guilty. I'm much better at that. I will give myself an 8. I have fun in ways that serve my highest and best self. Mm, I'm gonna go with a 6. And I can't tell you why, it's just my gut feeling. I do gut feelings with all of this. I reward myself when I accomplish a goal. 8. And I would say that one of my coworkers thinks I reward myself way too often with the way I also complain about my money situation. So that's a whole other issue. And that's a whole other area of life we will get to. I do things on a regular basis that bring me joy. I will do that 7. I spend enough time with people I enjoy. I will also put that, actually, I'll put that as an 8. My social interactions are enjoyable, meaningful, and fun. And I will say 9 for that one. All right, work and learning. I am enthusiastic about and engaged in what I am doing for my life's work. I will do an 8 because today just tried me with the day job. um, I am fulfilled by the work I do and believe it adds value. You know what? Even with the day job, I absolutely 10 on that one. Some people have a hard time doing 10 and rating themselves higher. As I've mentioned before, and some of you know, on Clifton Strengths, I'm number 3 positivity. So I'm probably gonna, if you are not high positivity, you will probably be looking at my scores and going, I could never. And you know what? That's fine. This is my assessment of myself, and your assessment of yourself is your assessment of yourself. And it is what it is. And just honestly roll with it and figure out what, if you want to work towards improving that score, because you may not want to. I think I mentioned this yesterday. I know I mentioned it somewhere recently. If you don't want to make improvement of an area of life a priority for you, you don't have to. You may just want to make the priority for something, maintenance and everything. Oh, Halima, good question. Enneagram, I am a 3-wing 2. I am not a 3-wing 2. I'm just, me personally, I took the test. I took the official test, and I had a 4-way tie for what I was. I literally, I had a 4-way tie because they said, you might be tied, and then you have a, like, and then here's a possible secondary that you might want to also consider. And the first 2 top scores were 25 and 24, so may as well have been a dead tie. And then the next 2 and then the secondary possible was a dead tie of 18. So I literally went to the head of the Clifton Strengths coaching group. I said, so I had a 4-way tie. What am I? And she's like, 7. You are a 7. So I'm a 7. I don't know what my wing is. I can't remember what 8 and 6 are. So I can't tell you if I'm a 7-wing 6 or a 7-wing 8, but I'm a 7. And I had such a hard time because I read all 4. I'm like, yeah, that kind of fits me. I didn't have a particularly strong feeling towards any of them, which is probably why I had a 4-way tie. So, but yeah, that's my Enneagram. I tend not to do a whole lot with it just because I was like, yeah, okay. So, all right, back to the assessment. My work is a true fit for my purpose, strengths, and personal gifts. I would also put that as a 10. I am contributing to the work. I'm contributing to the work the way I desire. That feels like an awkward sentence to me, but I would say 8. I have positive interactions at work. Put that as a 9. I expand my skills through continued growth and development. Sure, let's go ahead and put an 8, because I don't always intend to do that with a day job. I like my day job. I like making connections and learning more about books in the publishing industry, but yeah. Oh. Well, Halima, I hope you enjoy it. Apparently they are raising their rates next year, so you might want to, from what I did not see, let's say, I don't think that they had a Black Friday deal, but I've been told by the head of the coaching group I work with, they are, Gallup is apparently raising the rates for next year. So you might want to just take that into consideration. Oh, Katie, good point. Oh, excellent. I am a 31 positivity and have no problem giving myself a 10 on the compass assessment. My number 6 command kicks in and lends me in lends me a lot of confidence that may or may not actually be accurate. I love command. I forget where command is for me. It's not horribly low, but it's also really not high. So, oh, you are most definitely a 7. You can guess a 7 with a 6 wing. Okay, I will look more into that just to figure that out. But thank you. I do know that Enneagram 7s are what I remember of the description very much aligns with how I present as a number 2 woo in Clifton Strengths. So when Becca, who's the head of the coaching group, said that I was a 7, I was like, okay. And it was just one of those, yes, I can totally see that. Thank you. I appreciate the clarity. All right. So 2 more questions in work and learning. I have an actionable plan to support the growth and success I desire. 10. I have a freaking 5-year plan for the writing. Not so much. I do have a plan for the day job, but yeah, I am curious and eager to learn. I know how I would answer this for myself. And if any of you know your Clifton Strengths and you are high learners, you'll probably be wondering, yeah, I am not high learner, but I love learning about new things. So I'm going to go ahead and put probably a 9 for that. Family and relationships. I am present with my family, friends, and or significant other. I would say 8. I share mutual love, respect, and appreciation with my loved ones. I would say that's a 9. I have healthy boundaries. I would say that's an 8. I am free from toxic relationships. That's a 9. I experience vulnerability and intimacy in my personal relationships. I would say that's probably a 9. I have a sense of community and belonging where I live, work, and play. 9. I have clarity and peace in the areas I feel like I'm lacking. I would say that's actually a 6. It's the clarity. I have the peace, but I don't have quite the clarity. I am actively designing what I want from my relationships. I would put that as a 6 as well because active, this area of life's pretty passive for me. Enneagram 7s thrive and live in positive emotions. Yes. As a number 1 empathy, number 2 positivity, number 1 empathy, number 2 woo, number 3 positivity and Clifton Strengths, all of this. Yes. All right, health and wellness. We are getting to the, I would say that the left-hand side of the assessments, I'm usually a lot more easier on myself and happier with myself. The right-hand side, not so much. So this is where my scores are likely going to go down. I take care of my physical, mental, and emotional health. Yeah, I would say that's probably a 9. It's like I do my best. I eat well and drink plenty of water. I would put that as a 6. I get a sufficient amount of sleep. I'm getting better sleep than I did. I'm going to put that probably as a 7. I have a regular exercise routine. 2. I have a healthy self-image. I have a better self-image than I can tell you that I have a better self-image now than I did at a month ago. And I will tell you why. It is because I was hearing from a friend about this newer cruise line that she and her husband are taking a cruise on next month. January is next month. Oh my gosh. All right. Next month, she and her husband are taking a cruise on this newer cruise line. And she was telling us and me and a group of friends about it. And one of the words that she said to describe it was very inclusive. And I was like, oh, I perked up. And I was like, all right, let me take a look at this. And so while I was home resting and recuperating from COVID, I turned on YouTube and watched a lot of videos about this cruise line. And the first real set of videos that I watched were from a group of friends who basically did a girls' trip on this cruise line. And it was watching them and how happy and just who they were, two of whom were plus size. One was about a 1X. I believe she said that her clothing size was. The other girl did not say what her clothing size was, but she was probably me, about my size, if maybe a bit bigger. And she was wearing bikinis, like damn near string bikinis. I was looking at her and the other girls, and I'm like, why do I not have that confidence? And I would say, I can tell you don't have that confidence, but at the same time, I saw that and like, you know what? Let me go buy bikinis. So I went on Lane Bryant and I bought two bikini sets. My first time in 45 years, which admittedly, my younger years, that I would not have been wearing bikinis for various reasons. But I'm 45 years old and I just bought my first sets of bikinis because I've never been a small girl. I've never been a small girl. The first time I can clearly remember somebody told me I should start watching my weight, I was 7 years old. So I've had a lot of societal programming, let's say, about my size. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get these bikinis. And I highly recommend buying swimwear off season because I got these 2 sets of bikinis for $40 total from Lane Bryant because they were like together, like I think the tops were like $13 and the bottoms were like $7 each. So I got them. I tried them on when they came in. I was just like, I have a bikini body. I like this. So yes, I have a healthy self-image. Has greatly improved in just last month. So I'm still going to put that as a 6, but it's improved. I've healed from any stress or trauma I've experienced. I don't think you ever fully heal from stress and trauma, but I have significantly healed. So I'm going to put that as a 7. I feel strong in body, heart, and mind. I would say that's an 8, especially now that I am a month out almost from when I was first diagnosed with COVID. I am equipped to handle life's events with strength and vitality. 7. All right. So, Deb, this is why I'm doing these live streams. That's the only reason, honestly. This is why I'm doing them. Oh, thank you, Halima. I greatly appreciate this. Thank you, Katie. Thank you. But yeah, it was just, I'm like, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. So yeah, I feel very good about that. Now it's one of the reasons I am plotting for 2023 sometime in 2023 to book a cruise. Whether or not I go on it in 2023 or 2024, we'll see where the timing and money travel gods align. But I will book a cruise. I'm going to guess that you mean prefer rather than Peter, the assessment, but not the intentions. So yeah, this year the intentions are maybe not going to be as deeply because I have such a clear idea of what I want my goals to be for the most part. All right, spiritual and personal growth. I have identified what my own definition of spirituality is. That's 8. I engage in regular spiritual practice. You know, with the way this is phrased, I don't. But at the same time, I don't care because I'm very comfortable with where I am at with regards to my spirituality. I'm going to go ahead and just put that as an 8. I invest time and energy into my personal and spiritual growth. Since you put in personal, I'm going to go ahead and stick that as a 9 because I invest a lot. Um, oh, okay. The road back to you was suggested for Enneagrams, and it's sitting on my chair on my desk. So I would, if you're at all interested in Enneagrams, and I will put that on my list as something to check out. The road back to you. Road. I think one of the things I'm going to have to do for my goals is for spiritual and personal growth is to clear through my backlog of nonfiction books because I have a lot of nonfiction that I picked up to read. All right, my words, thoughts, and actions are congruent with my beliefs and values. I would say a 7. That's my gut. I seek to learn new things about myself and others. That's a very solid 8. I feel clear and connected to what my guiding principles are. 7. I practice gratitude regularly. Yeah, that's pretty regular, so I'll put that as a 7. I have found peace and forgiveness where there has been pain and suffering. Oh, that's a darn good question. I'll put that as a 7. I almost exclusively do nonfiction via audiobooks at a 1.75 to 2 speed. I admire you. I still haven't gotten quite to that level, but yeah, I'm getting to be more. I'm more of an audiobook reader for nonfiction. Oh, oh, Deb. In terms of physical books, my TBR is not bigger than me. If you were to do the physical equivalent of all of the advanced reader copies I've gotten, thanks to being a librarian, I would be drowned and crushed and dead. Oh yeah, Deb, absolutely. Try speeding up, and just start small with 1.25 speed. I actually listened to a podcast accidentally at that speed, and luckily the particular speakers were completely comprehensible at that speed. I have found from seeing other people's is that there are some speakers who are much better um, when you have a higher speed rate, and so it can be frustrating because there are some people who the faster you go, the worse that they sound, but there are some people who still sound really good at super high rates of speed. And if you are an advanced audiobook listener, I know people who will listen at 3-4x speed because they're just so used to listening to audiobooks and they are able to comprehend everything that's going. So, all right. Recommendation from Katie. The road back to you is a good starting place. I would suggest, especially if you are a podcast person, the podcast by one of the book's authors, Suzanne Stabile. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The Enneagram Journey. And Deb, I am an ebook hoarder. Yes. I haven't looked. I have 2 ebook readers. One is Kobo. That is my preferred way to buy ebooks. And then I also have a Kindle because the advanced reader copies don't expire on it. I got that tip from a coworker and I immediately bought one. So yeah. For fiction audiobooks, I love the ones that are full production. Yes. It's very interesting. I know some people who do not like the full production, but they are also have been listening to a very certain style of production for most of their lives, and we'll just leave it at that because it's related to the day job. So, but yes, it's really, really interesting. All right, 2 more sections to go. Where are we at time-wise? Okay, 40 minutes, almost. I believe this is financial area of life. I believe in my ability to acquire wealth. I'm going to put that as a 6. I am implementing the systems and skills needed to meet my financial goals. 4. I have streamlined and automated my financial dealings. That's a 5. I have a healthy relationship with money. 3. I have financial and economic security. 5, because I actually do have retirement accounts. I have a favorable credit rating. The last I looked, I'm going to put this as a 9. I spend my money responsibly and live within my means. 2, I have a financial plan for the future and contribute to it regularly. That's about a 5, again, because I actually do have financial accounts, retirement accounts. Physical environment. I am up to date on necessary repairs and maintenance. I'll put that as a 7 because there's some things I need to call maintenance about, and I need to clean first before I invite them into my apartment. There are physical areas where I can go to recharge and experience comfort. 8. I have to do some stuff with the balcony, but yeah. My environments support having positive energy, good habits, and personal success. 4. Let's see. Love the Enneagram suggestions. Thank you. Deb Osorio. Love the graphic audio and other full production reads. Yeah, graphic audio. And there's a couple of others that I forget the production companies, but they're really fun. Star Wars with pew pew sound effects. I love those. But I am also 2 months younger than the original Star Wars. I feel like we grew up together. But George Lucas's bank account grew a lot bigger than me. I feel supported in the management of my home. 5. My home, car, and workplace are clean and safe. 3. They're safe, clean. We'll get to that. My physical environment is free from clutter and excess. 3. I enjoy spending time in my personal spaces. 5. I feel organized. 1. That's a big old 1. And you know what? That is ADHD life. That is I know exactly where that comes from. That is ADHD life. So let me quickly do the math. Math is hard, and apparently so is putting in my PIN number. All right. So what I'm going to do this year, previous years, I was one of those nerds who wrote out the entire 3 places after the decimal point. What I'm going to do for this year is kind of follow Cindy Gunther-Baldo's the way she does it. She rounds. What she does is that she rounds down to the whole number. So even if it's say 6.9, she considers that a 6. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to make it easy on myself, and I'm just going to go ahead and do that because I think that's a reasonable, and it's a clear cut, just cutting my tendency to be pedantic, because I have a lot of pedantic tendency. Quick side note, my brother was in town last week for meetings. I met with him for dinner. It was a lot of fun. It was really nice. And then we were talking with the bartender, and she asked how far apart in age we were because I'm the oldest, he's the youngest. And he said 7 years and 2 days. And I was like, not quite. It's actually, because I say almost 7 years to the day, because he was born 2 days before my 7th birthday. To me, 7 years and 2 days is he was born 2 days after my 7th birthday. And I realized really quickly I was getting pedantic, and he was going So I try hard not to. All right, math with I'm just using the calculator on my I almost said the calculator on my computer. This is a computer. This is a bigger computer than I ever had when I was a kid, when I was in college. This is a lot more memory, but this is not my computer. This is my phone. I'm sorry. I feel punch drunk after the way this workday went for the day job. So, all right, 8 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7 plus 6 plus 9 plus 7 plus 7 equals 61 divided by 8. 7.625, so that is a 7. All right, 5 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 equals 56 divided by 8. And that's a dead even 7. All right, 8 plus 10 plus 10 plus 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 10 plus 9 equals 72 divided by 8 is going to be dead even 9. All right. Family and relationships, 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 6 plus 6 equals 64. That's going to be an even 8. Wow. I am honestly surprised that I've already had 3 out of 4 dead even averages. That's the word. 9 plus 6 plus 7 plus 2 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 7 is 52 divided by 8. 6.5, so that's a 6 for health and wellness. All right, spiritual and personal growth, 8 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7 plus 8 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, 61 divided by 8, 7.625, so that's a 7. Financial area of life, 6 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 9 plus 2 plus 5, 39 divided by 8, 4.75, so that's a 4. And then physical environment, 7 plus 8 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 1, 36 divided by 8, 4.5, so that's also a 4. And yeah, so like I predicted, the left side is greater than the right side. So, Deb, my scores are pretty low across the board. You know what? That might be. And it's like, and it just, like I was saying earlier, I'm not sure when you came in, I am very high positivity on Clifton strengths. So I tend to look at things with more rosier colored glasses than some other people. And you do not have issues. You may have issues, but as long as you're getting help for those issues, you're doing great. But everybody has issues, and my issues are definitely always going to be in financial and physical areas of life. So I get that. So the next phase is just coloring in this and figuring out where you want to go. I will do that later because this is small. I don't feel like dealing with the smallness right now. But what I will do, I'm going to use the MäksēLife markers, Maxi markers. And I know that I'm going to be spending a lot of my energy in 2023 on work and learning and physical environment, because work and learning is publishing. I'm doing a lot of publishing here. Oh, Deb, they're color glasses here. And you know what? I wouldn't say that you have to completely change to rose-colored glasses because that's just not everybody's personality. But maybe clearing away some of the dirt could be one of your goals, and working on mindset and everything, and to get to a point where it's gray, light gray colored glasses as opposed to dirt covered. And so it's always going to be what does improvement mean to you? How would you define improvement from what your state is as of this moment, if that makes sense? So I've got a lot of room for improvement with physical environment, with that being at a 4, whereas work and learning is a 9. But I'm really, really happy with work and learning because I'm really happy with the way things are going right now. But I'm still going to be directing a lot of energy and effort to that area of life because of very specific things I want to accomplish. So I don't know that I need to improve my score in work and learning. But yeah, so I think this is where you can figure out the assessment. Since if you already know some things that are going to be happening in the next year or whatever period that you're looking at, Um, you can decide whether or not something's a priority, even if your score is not really going to improve. It could still be that isn't a priority because you want to keep that momentum going. Um, so I'm going to say physical environment since I know that that is an area. I'm just going to go ahead and color in, and I want to move that up to a 6. Let that dry a little bit before I write on it. That's about, let me do my coloring first so I can let it dry. And what I'm going to do is just create these little things so I can refer back to, and you can just see as an example. Here's the, all right, where am I? All right, so like physical environment and then health and wellness up here. This is weird mirroring, and family and relationships. Oh, walk the dog, walk the dogs. Yes, I everybody can understand how great they will feel once they're able to do what they need to do. So yes, and I think this is where spiritual and personal growth for me is working on mindset in a number of different areas. So I think that's going to be probably another goal for me. And I'm just coloring, and where I'm coloring in, I'm gonna like write in the number so you can maybe see how, because this was still wet, the regular ink pen didn't work. So I'm just gonna create these little whatevers, coloring moments, and make life fun for me. And those are going to be the goals that the goal numbers that I'm going to work towards. But yeah, so we got about 9 minutes left before a full hour is over. So does anybody have any questions about doing an assessment like this, or you're looking for ideas on something? Because I'm going to, I still have some work to do tonight on the writing. I'm working on revising. I'm in a revision round, edit round right now. And so I've got 2 chapters that I want to work through tonight. And then also the MäksēLife is their round 2, which is monthly goals, weekly actions. That is happening at 8 Eastern, so in a little over an hour. Great question, Halima. What is your next step after this? I think my next step is going to be revising and kind of like firming up my actual annual goals for 2023. And I think if I didn't already have a fairly clear idea as to what I want to do with some areas of life, I would spend a little bit more time than I probably will be spending doing, because I think if you're not clear on at least a couple of your goals, it can feel like, well, I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do that. I already know where a lot of my energy is going. So I'm going to have to be more intentional about some other areas of life and figuring out what I want to and can do for maintenance goals. Also, how strong you have relationships, community is very inspiring, as that is one of my lowest score areas, and looking to figure out how to grow community while being an introvert. I'm going to say that I am absolutely and totally an extrovert who loves being around people. I Even before I took Clifton Strengths, I identified my superpower as being networking. And when I got my results from Clifton Strengths, it was like, yes, your superpower is networking. So I'm also very lucky in that my immediate family, we have pretty good relationships with each other. The extended family, there's some stuff. I will just say that there's some stuff. There are some health issues that are going on in the extended family right now, that I might take an emotional hit, and likely will take an emotional hit in the next 6 months. I need to figure out how I will deal with that with regards to other things like my writing. Because I was actually having a conversation this morning in Clubhouse about dealing with loss of key relationships. And the thing is, a loss of a key relationship doesn't just mean death, even though that's likely what I'm going to have to be dealing with soon. So let me take a sip of water because I don't need to be crying right now. But it can also mean that the lifespan for that particular relationship has ended for another reason. If it was your spouse, divorce, if it was a best friend, and you just realize that you've grown apart, and it's not even if it's one of those long tail and just you realize it's over, when you have that realization is when you have to deal with the acknowledgement of that is no longer a key relationship in your life, even if it hasn't been for a number of years. That is still a realization that you have to deal with. So for some people, they are able to compartmentalize, and you know what? Great for them. Honestly, I'm very, very happy for them. I am not. I'm not a person who can do that. And so when you're making plans for the coming year, or just realize that life in general, life happens. So you are not going to be able to predict when something might happen that will affect you. But life happens, so something will likely happen to affect you. So it kind of helps if you can put some thought ahead of time into, well, I know that I don't deal well with these kinds of situations. So when this kind of situation happens, here's what I'm going to do to care for myself. And just recognize that all of your other things that you are working on, you're going to probably have to set aside. You may not have to, but because some people find a lot of joy and comfort in working on certain things. But if that is something that is not a strength of yours, and or you are, even if it is something you can usually do, but whatever the situation is now, you just can't do that, you're just going to have to find a way to accept, which is, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but you're just going to have to accept that that can't be your focus. That's not going to be your focus for however long it's going to take you to work through whatever it is. And yeah, it's been on my, it has been on my mind today for a number of reasons. So I hope no one has to deal with that in the next year or anything like that. But at the same time, know that if you do, you're loved, you are valued, and you are always welcome here, and always welcome to share your experiences. And we will do our best to support you. I hope I hope everybody can just have a good year. I will say that. Yeah. So, all right, trying to put the moment aside for the moment. So, yeah, I hope you guys all have a great day. I hope you are finding value in working with me, or just even watching and listening. Oh, thank you, Halima. Thank you. I'm so happy and thankful for all of you who are here with me, because that means a lot. It really does. I greatly enjoy being here and seeing all of you present. So thank you for being present with me. I appreciate it greatly. So back tomorrow, because tomorrow is a regular day for me and no other outside appointments I have to factor in. So we'll continue working on this, or I will continue working on this, and I will see you then. And Katie, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I will, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm feeling all the feelings. Feeling all the feelings. Thank you, number one, empathy. And I will see you all tomorrow. Keep an eye on the community space. I will let you know once I sign into work. I know then when I can sign out of work, and so I will time the live stream appropriately. And I will see you all tomorrow, either live or in the replay. And if you're watching in replay, please feel free to drop a question or comment. And I am having so much fun doing these. So thank you so much for joining me, and may all your dreams be Ruby dreams. Bye-bye.